St. Louis, the gateway to the West. That's what they call it, but it's not really the gateway to the West if it's in Missouri. Anyway, the St. Louis Cardinals was one of the original 16 franchises that started up the modern Major Leagues in 1901. The St. Louis Cardinals were not really known as a superstar team. They were basically bottom feeders and also Rams. They didn't really reach the World Series till the 1920s. In 1926, they actually shocked the powerful New York Yankees with a still healthy Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. In fact, St. Louis won that 1926 World Series by Pete Alexander actually picking off Babe Ruth at second base. Babe Ruth could not steal to save his life in his later career. I don't know why he did that. But anyway, St. Louis also had some very famous World Series victories. 1934, Game 7, Joe Medwick slid into the Tigers third baseman Marv Owen so hard that basically fans at Tiger Stadium were just beating the tar of him and threw fetch bills and all of that. Medwick did, in fact, remove himself from the lineup. The Cardinals beat the Tigers 11-0 in that game, which would have been funny because if it was a forfeited game, St. Louis would have actually only scored 9-0. But anyway, St. Louis. They had a few good series in the 1940s. They were a decent team. The 1950s were not as big for them, but the 60s were huge, especially 1964. A few years after making that big Brock for Broggio trade to get Lou Brock from the Cubs. People forget that Lou Brock was a Cub. I think it was Lou Brock, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Brock for Broggio. Yeah, they had Kurt Flood. The Cardinals actually shocked baseball lore by beating the Yankees in the 1964 World Series in 7 games. That would be the last time the Yankees made a World Series in 12 years. St. Louis, strangely enough, lost their manager to the Yankees after that. But they kept on roaring. 1967, they beat the impossible dream Bo Sox, even though it took them 7 games. 1968, they actually were victimized after taking a 3-1 series lead to the Tigers. 1968, people blamed the anthem of Jose Feliciano in Game 5 as a catalyst for why the Cardinals lost that series. But in the end, the Cardinals could not protect a big lead in Game 5 and they choked. Game 6, they got rocked 13-1. And then Game 7, Kurt Flood, who was basically a pretty good outfielder, misplayed a pitch that landed behind him, thanks to Jim Northrup. Tigers ended up winning the game 4-1, beating Bob Gibson, which was a rarity in itself. Kurt Flood said he would never recover because basically Cardinals management had blamed him for why they lost the '68 World Series and basically traded him to Philly. He wouldn't have it. Kurt Flood's career just went under. But anyway, the Cardinals in the 1970s were not really that famous, but in the 1980s they came back a lot. 1981 they got robbed of a chance to go to the NLCS because of the split season, but in '82 they actually ended up doing much better than they thought they would. With Bruce Sutter on the bump, being the closer, St. Louis having some decent hitting and some pitching. Of course, Ozzie Smith came into the team in '82. The Cardinals beat the Brewers in the Sud Series in 7 games. In 1985, the Cardinals ended up going to the World Series, but they didn't have their key player. Vince Coleman could steal bases, but unfortunately, the fastest man in the stadium couldn't outrun a slow-moving tarp before Game 4 of the NLCS. Sadly, though, Coleman's knee injury would keep him out for the playoffs, which would have a stinging effect. Never mind that Ozzie Smith hit a nice home run in Game 5 of the NLCS. If it were pre-85 LCS, like in '84, Ozzie Smith's home run would definitely be a pennant winner. But the Cardinals did win Game 6 when Jack Clark, with first base open, actually got pitched to by Nudie Fielder, and wham, he hit a home run. That is just stupid by Lasorda and uncharacteristic. However, in 1985, they got to the World Series. They were close. They were up 3-1 on the Royals, and unfortunately, they choked it. Mostly because their offense batted like 185 or something in that 7-game series, which is amazing. They didn't even hit the Mendoza line as a team. Tito Landrum was pretty good as Coleman's replacement, but Game 6 ruined them. Basically, Dagger fucked them over with that calling Orta safe. Jack Clark completely bobbled a foul ball, which would have been the first out. Darrell Porter mixed up his signs, which led to a pass ball, which led to runners on second and third. And Porter did not do great positioning to get the relay throw that would have probably forced the Royals to tie the game and go to extra innings. But anyway, the Cardinals completely shit the bed in Game 7, 11-0, and you knew that they were pissed off, and they knew that they were fucked. But the St. Louis Cardinals in the 1990s were not really that well known, unless you count getting Mark McGwire. So unfortunately, the Cardinals didn't really roar back to the 2000s. Despite Rick Ankiel's 6 wild pitches in the 2000 LDS against the Braves, Cardinals looked decent in 2004, especially 2004. They actually were down 3-2 in the NLCS to the Houston Astros. But Jim Edmonds, 11th inning home run in Game 6 to make it a Game 7, and then Edmonds with a nice sliding catch in the outfield beat Houston. They went to the World Series. They got swept by the Red Sox, who Cardinals all cowboy up. However, the Cardinals went out very badly. At 82 and 80, they shocked everyone by winning not only their division, but a spot in the World Series. And the World Series, for that matter, beating a game Tigers, who, surprisingly enough, was in the World Series 3 years removed from that pathetic 119 loss season. So anyway, they beat the Tigers. Adam Wainwright was a closer at that time. He wasn't the starting pitcher that he is today. He's kind of like Derek Lowe in a sense. Cardinals did win the 2011 World Series in a huge Game 6 performance by David Freese. Not only did he have the game-tying triple in the bottom of the ninth, but he hit a home run in the 11th to win the game for the Cardinals after Texas had 2 chances to win the World Series on St. Louis and fucked it up. Cardinals won Game 7 with that one. Cardinals right now are doing pretty well in the 2019 season. They lead the division with the Cubs and Brewers attacking them at the time of this taping, September 17th, 2019. So anyway, let's talk about the 1996 St. Louis Cardinals. You may be thinking, what would this team have to do with it? And why is it the what if? Well, you know that every St. Louis team that makes the finals and loses, they can't be in. They have to win. They have to win the finals. Basically, you lose in the finals, I'm not going to go that route because I know there was probably some other teams to do that. So anyway, that is a no-no. But the 1996 Cardinals was actually the last Cardinals team for a while before they got Mark McGwire. People forget that Mark McGwire was traded from the A's to the Cardinals, but that was in 1997. This is 1996. The St. Louis Cardinals actually had a 3-1 series lead on the Atlanta Braves in the NLCS. Look it up, people. But weirdly enough, the Cardinals' offense just sputtered, and their pitching sputtered too. So the final 3 games in which Atlanta went and got to the 96 World Series, get this. The Cardinals were outscored 32-1. I'm not joking. 32 runs for the Braves, 1 run for the Cardinals in the final 3 games. That is just, holy fuck. 1 run in 3 games and give up 32? Wow. So anyway, the St. Louis Cardinals, well, I felt bad for them, being outweighted by the Atlanta Braves. It's like, what the fuck? So here's what I'm going to do. I put the 96 Cardinals. They do win somehow in, I'll say Game 6 against the Braves and go to the World Series against the 96 Yankees. The 96 Yankees, of course, obviously would be waiting for the NLCS winner in the finals. So I will be using the starting rotation for the 96 Yankees. And all of a sudden, let's see if the Cardinals can do something about it. Okay, so the St. Louis Cardinals take on the New York Yankees. As you see there, a young Royce Clayton is named shortstop. Ozzie Smith is given a reward for being a good player by being the DH. John Mabry was the first baseman before Mark McGwire came along. So Game 1 sees Alan Bettis versus Andy Pettitte because St. Louis decided to use the 2 Bettises in Games 1 and 2. Well, it worked. First time around, 5-3. Gary Gaetti. Barkum, Gary Gaetti. Really? So great job by him. Mariano Duncan gets an RBI double to score Bernie Williams. I didn't know Mariano Duncan played for the New York Yankees in 1996. Okay. Tino Martinez fumbles the ball, and Langford reaches to score Ozzie Smith. But Cecil Fielder, yes, he did play for the Yankees. He tied it at 2 in the bottom of the third, home run. Derek Jeter, RBI single to score Mario Duncan 3-2. Cool. It was 3-2 for the longest time till the 8th inning. When you get Gary Gaetti, and boom, another home run to left field, gone, making it 5-3. Are you serious? Yankees had to run around third base, but Darryl Strawberry popped up. Then another runner on third base, but Wade Boggs grounded into a double play. So the Cardinals win. Gary Gaetti, 4 RBIs, 2 home runs. Amazing. TJ Matthews won the game in relief from Alan Menace. Well, Eckersley. Yes, Dennis Eckersley was on that team with the save. The 96 Yankees fielder with the home run, Jeter, fielder, Duncan with RBIs. Pettit, 7 2/3. Mo Rivera hitting on third. It's kind of funny because Andrew Jones actually did hit 2 home runs against the Yankees in real life. So anyway, it's now time for Jimmy Key to come to fruition in game 2. And again, they fail. So the Bennett boys, I don't know if they're related. I think they were. Make it 2-0. Brian Jordan, RBI single to score Ozzie Smith. Mariano Duncan, RBI single to score Darryl Strawberry. 1-1 until the top of the 5th when Royce Clayton gets an RBI single to score Pagnosi. And Ozzie Smith gets a sac fly. And Alicea scores for the Cardinals. Cecil Fielder gets a sac fly to score Jeter 3-2. Ozzie Smith gets an RBI single to score Alicea, and nothing else much happened. Yankees only got 4 hits that day. Wow. Smith with 2 RBIs, Jordan and Clayton with the other ones. Eddie Bennett 7 innings to win. Matthews, Eckersley. The Yankees, Fielder and Duncan with RBIs. Jimmy Key only goes 6 2/3 and fucks it up. Mario Rivera 2 1/3. It's amazing. So at 2-0, time to switch her up. So now we have David Cone versus Todd Stoudemire. Former Blue Jay, Todd Stoudemire goes in. There. Now the problem with the St. Louis Cardinals at that time is that where are you going to put Ozzie Smith? So they decide to put Ozzie Smith at second base and bat 8th, leaving Alicea off the bench because Royce Clayton has actually been proven that he's a good player. That gamble did not pay off. The Yankees win 4-2. Wade Boggs RBI double to score Derek Jeter in the first inning. Darryl Strawberry, hey-o, Strawberry, home run to left center 2-0 at Busch Stadium, by the way. Cardinals do come back to tie it. Mabry with an RBI single to score Jordan, and Pagnosi with a double to score Mabry. At 2-2, Tino Martinez RBI single to score Wade Boggs. At 3-2, we head to the top of the 8th. Mario Duncan RBI double to score Paul O'Neill. At 4-2, things happen for a reason. So the Yankees win 4-2. They used their hitters Boggs, Tino, Strawberry, and Duncan with RBIs. David Cone, 5 innings. For the win, Rivera, Nelson, Wetland. Yeah, John Wetland was the closer. Mabry and Pagnosi RBIs. Todd Stoudemire, 7-inning loss. TJ Matthews in again. St. Louis needs Donovan Osborne. And the Yankees want to go with Kenny Rogers, so they'll go with a 4-man rotation. And it didn't work. St. Louis takes the 3-1 series lead on the Yankees, even though Jeter hit a home run in the first bat of the game. John Mabry scores for Brian Jordan. Ray Langford hits a triple to score Royce Clayton, while Brian Jordan hits a GRD, ground rule double, to score Langford. Ron Gant RBI single to score Royce Clayton. Make it 4-1. Donovan Osborne even attacks with an RBI double. Ray Langford makes it 6-1 with a double in the 7th, and the Yankees come roaring back in the 9th. Strawberry with 2 RBI double make it 6-3. Mariano Duncan made it 6-4. Things were tough. Joe Girardi grounded out. Tim Raines flew out, and Derek Jeter grounded out. So the Yankees made it 6-4 without giving up an out, but they fucked it all up. So Jeter with a home run, 2 RBIs for Strawberry Duncan with one. Kenny Rogers 6 innings without the win. Mark Hudden and Brian Bowler here. Mark Hudden? So anyway, Gant, Langford, Jordan Mabry. I don't know. Osborne for RBIs. Osborne goes 8 innings. TJ Matthews comes in, doesn't do that well, and then gives it to Eckersley for the save, which he does. So now the Cardinals look like they're going to win this World Series. Alan Bennett can finally end it by beating Andy Pettit. But they can't. Yankees win 5-3. Cardinals actually looked good. Mabry with an RBI single score Gaetti, and then Tom Bagnolzi with a 2-run home run, 3-0. Derek Jeter hit a home run in the top of the third. It looked good. Darryl Strawberry RBI doubled the score. Bernie, 3-2. On to the 7th. And after the bases were loaded, Wade Boggs hits a sac fly. Okay. Making it 3-3. Pitching change. Paul O'Neill comes in. 2 RBI double. Make it 5-3. Cardinals, nothing doing. So anyway, nicely done. Jeter, Boggs, Paul O'Neill with 2 RBI, Strawberry with 1. Pettit with the win. Rivera came in for 2 innings, and then John Wetland the save. Mabry and Bagnolzi with RBIs. Alan Bennett loses 6 in the 3rd innings. Matthews 2 in the 3rd, and Rick Hennicutt. So now they have to head back to New York for game number 6. The Yankees do go Jimmy Key because they need a lefty against Andy Bennett. And weird, the Yankees force a game 7, 8-6. Oh my God, can you believe they might blow through? So Paul O'Neill home run in the bottom of the 1st. Brian Jordan home run. But Derek Jeter hits a sac fly, a home run. But Ron Gant comes back with a home run to left field. And then Paul O'Neill hits a home run, 3-3. All 6 runs have come via a home run. Top of the 6th, Ron Gant makes it 4-3, home run. Bernie Williams hits a home run, 5-4. But the Cardinals do score 2 runs without the home run. Ozzie Smith with an RBI single score, Pagnolzi and Alicea. Wow, there we go, 6-5. Bottom of the 7th, Bernie Williams, bases loaded after O'Neill, Field, Jeter, and Martinez get on. 2 walks and a single. Bernie Williams hits a big double down the right field line, score Jeter, O'Neill, and Tino. It's 8-6. Cardinals get nothing after that. Wow, 8-6. We are going to game 7. Wow. Despite 2 home runs from Ron Gant, but Andy Bennett went 6 2/3 and lost TJ Matthews with the inning the 3rd. O'Neill and Fielder and all that. The Yankees, Jeter, Paul O'Neill, Bernie Williams. Bernie Williams, 5 RBIs. Big win. He did not get the win. That was Rivera with John Wetland the save. So we got ourselves a game 7. Why don't we? No. Interesting. We got ourselves a game 7. David Cohn is pitching game 7. It's Tata Stoudemire. We shall see. We got ourselves a nice game here in New York. Nobody's got a hit. Here we go. Here's the blue Cardinals. 2-1 to Langford. Langford, bloops one, base hit. That will score Ozzie, and it's 1-0 Cardinals. They know they had a 3-1 series lead, and they don't want to choke it. Bottom of the 3rd. Here comes Girardi. Pitch. Girardi dumps it. Double. Base hit. Left center. Here comes Strawberry. A big, fantastic win. And the Yankees have made it 1-1. Here comes O'Neill. The 1-2. O'Neill. Grabo. Base hit. Here comes Girardi. 2-1. 2-1 here in the 5th. The 2-1 to O'Neill. O'Neill hits one to left field. Oh, bounce down. Here comes Jeter. He'll score. 3-1 Yankees. Amazing. Great job by the Yankees to hold the Cardinals to 2 hits through 7 innings. And now we have an ejection. That was a low ball. And Boggs first and second. Here comes O'Neill. The 2-1. O'Neill, base hit. To right center. Jeter on his horse. He'll get there and score. 4-1 Yankees. Cardinals have only gotten 2 hits through 8 innings. Runners on the corners. Here's Jeter. Jeter. That's going to go into the left field corner. That'll bounce around. Langford's trying to get at it. But here comes Duncan. Here comes Girardi. It's 6-1 Yankees. Wade Boggs, 2-1. Boggs to right field. Base hit. And now going in the corner. He'll head for 2. Jeter easily trots in. It's 7-1. Here's the 1-1-2 O'Neill. Ground ball, base hit. Boggs is running. He'll get there. 8-1 Yankees. Unbelievable. And now the pitch to Mabry. Mabry, ground ball, third base, easy throw. Yes. New York. They come back from 3-1 down and win the World Series. Unbelievable. The Cardinals, Langford and Mabry, the only ones to get hits. And whoa. Stoudemire thought he had it, and he did not. Wow, Todd Stoudemire, 7 innings, given 4 runs. TJ Matthews, he was just left out there. I think TJ Matthews played every game. The Yankees, well, Jeter 2 RBIs, Boggs with 1, Paul O'Neill with 4 RBIs. He was the big man this time, and Joe Girardi with 1. David Cohn pitched 5 innings, then Rivera came in. And then Jeff Nelson and Mark Hudden. I don't know why they gave him the ball to finish the game, but should have been Jeff Nelson. But it doesn't matter. The New York Yankees surprised the world, and themselves for that matter, by winning, coming back from a 3-1 series lead down. So even the alternate fantasy would have seen the Cardinals pull a 3-1 series lead. How ironic.